Welcome to all of you out there, my dear astrology friends. Welcome to another reading here, another video here, a reading about the sky, what it's all about during the new moon in Pisces. Let's get into it. And this is happening, first of all, around 27th, 28th of February, depending where you live. So, of 2025. And it's the sun and the moon coming together at 9 degrees of Pisces. So every year around this time, we have a new moon in Pisces. And a lot of people will probably think, but hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. We've got the North Node there in Pisces as well. Isn't this called an eclipse? No, it's not. And why? Very simple. The North Node is too far away in the sign of Pisces. The degrees are too far away. So it's as simple as that. But we're going to have eclipses in March. No doubt about it. But not this one in February. It's still a new moon. And so the North Node is around 27 degrees. The sun and the moon are around 9 degrees. That's why it's not an eclipse. But anyway, having said that, so we know that new moons, this is always about a new start, an ending, a new beginning. The fact it is in Pisces, it's like a double whammy of an ending and a new beginning. It's like the cycle is has turned around, and you could say it's the number 9 in the numerology, right? It's the cycle that is finished, and we start a new one. It's that kind of energy that we have. And so every time around this time, we have that feeling of these endings and the new beginnings. And Pisces is about letting go. So a lot of us will feel the energy of things are ending, and we get into new energy here. Now, of course, so we're planting a seed for new stuff. Depending on, I will have a look at every sign very quickly, where this is happening, what area of life. So depending on the area of your life, it's going to be an ending and a new beginning. Now, we always look around aspects. You know, we astrologers, we tend to look towards not only this new moon, it's not happening in itself, so to speak. There's also a reflection of what's happening with the rest of the planets. And is this new moon at 9 degrees of Pisces making any aspects that is going to flavor the new moon? Now, we know that in astrology, in ancient astrology, the classical ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. And guess what's happening here? This new moon, with the sun and the moon at 9 degrees, is making a square to where Jupiter is, its ruler. And Jupiter is in Gemini, and it's squaring up to it. Jupiter will be at approximately 12 degrees of, double checking it, 12 degrees of Gemini. So you could say it's pretty exact, you know, the moon is going to go 9 degrees, 10 degrees, and it's going to square up to this Jupiter and the sun as well. And this is the main aspect, you could say, because guess what? All the rest is forming a traffic jam in the sign of Pisces. So it's like a big highlight. We call it a stellium. A stellium is when 4 or more planets are in the same kind of sign, very close to each other. That's a stellium. We're going to have that. Now, are these good aspects? And probably, well, in my humble opinion, of course, astrologically, not only from the books and so on, but also out of experience. Too much of something, it's never good. Too much of something is an overdose, so to speak. And we see this here. So a stellium in itself, again, these things are neutral, right? I'm going to certainly express how to deal with it. But a stellium is when in ancient astrology, medicine was still related to astrology. Having a stellium, which means a lot of planets in the same sign, was seen as not so good. because there was an imbalance of all the elements, the water element, this is in the water sign. So there would be too much water, so to speak. It's very simple, I know, but these simplicities are sometimes very, very easy to understand and to explain. And it is what it is. So you could have, for instance, if you have a stellium in Leo, there's too much fire. If you have a stellium in Virgo, there's too much earth. If and so on. So here we have a stellium in Pisces. That is a lot of water. And water is seen as emotion. Again, that's not a bad or a good thing, but there's a lot of water. So there's going to be a lot of emotion. And the good thing, of course, of water, what water wants is connecting, right? You only have to do, if you can't turn around the page, what do? We make it a bit wet, and it's going to be very easy. So I don't know why I'm giving this stupid example here, but water wants to connect. It wants to connect and it wants to flow. And specifically in Pisces, it wants to be one with everything. Okay, so this is going to be exaggerated. I mean, the stellium, or what are the planets who are in Pisces? Well, we already said the sun, the moon at 9 degrees, Saturn at 20 degrees, so a bit further away. Okay, Saturn, then Mercury, which is another planet at 24 degrees in Pisces. The North Node, it's not a planet, but it's a point in the sky, 27 degrees of Pisces, and Neptune, 28 degrees of Pisces. So actually 5 planets in Pisces. Now, this energy of a lot of water is, I'm going to put these messages, hang on there. What I'm doing here is putting, I don't want to disturb here. Excuse me for that. But it's going to square up to Jupiter, its ruler, which is a bit like Jupiter wants to, what it touches, it expands. A square means a bit of tension. So you rather want to have a Jupiter trine to a planet than a square. I know it's Jupiter, it's a benefic, but do I like this new moon? I actually not a great fan of it. And I'm going to tell you why. I know that and I hope those astrologers are correct. The astrologers that I don't know if they're out there, but I'm sure that some astrologer will say, "Oh, it's very beautiful. It's very healing, and so on," which it is. And I hope that we can go towards that side. But I want to warn you as well, so that you are prepared and that you can recognize it directly with this overdose of emotion, an overdose of crossing boundaries, basically, because that's what Pisces does in a challenging way, and that's also what Jupiter does. When look at the natal chart of a person with the sun in opposition to Jupiter or a square, that they kind of it's not a bad thing, but they kind of exaggerate. These are people who are want to show more than they can deliver often, and it's not because they're a bad person, but they just it's a bit buoyant energy. It's very buoyant. It's very how would you say? It can be even a little bit manic in that respect. Now it is in Gemini, so this Jupiter, the ruler. So this is going to be on a very mental level as well. So that combination of mental level, the monkey mind, I think of the monkey mind with Jupiter there in Gemini, it's like, oh, I see everything and I'm going from this thought to that thought to that thought. It's giving headaches, right? So this Jupiter squaring up to this new moon is exaggerating all of this and is even making it bigger. Now again, now that we know this, we can notice it and we can stop this and make a choice to make the best out of it. Because when we have stelliums, it always means something special. People who were born with stelliums, for instance, they are on a mission. They truly are. They truly are on a mission. The down, which is a beautiful thing because in the sign of Pisces, if you do all the good stuff of Pisces, it's like an angel, right? It's like super empathic. So we want to use it for that, super empathic, super caring, super understanding, super creative, super loving, you know, the big heart, and it's unity, it's reuniting, it's, it's juicy stuff. It's um, Christ energy, right? And even if you don't believe in Christ, or I mean, it's that person who is, there's not one cell that has a bad intention in it. So I hope that we will use that in that way, but also in environments with people that are not going to take advantage of that are going to respect us, which means boundaries. So the thing that I'm a bit afraid of, well, not afraid, but the thing that is a bit of a challenge with this new moon is that it is so boundaryless, right? And we tend, when people are, especially, you have a person who has a stallion, they can be too much of that energy in a good way, but also in a bad way. Okay, so it's like most people who've got stallions, it's going to be a bit of a mixture there. And what is good, if we have these things going on, is the opposite sign, which is going to create balance. If you have all those planets in one sign, there's a balancing out of the other sign. And the other sign is Virgo. Virgo is the practical one. Virgo is the analytical one. Virgo is discerning. Virgo is saying, keep the feet on the ground. Virgo is saying, have you eaten yet? And that kind of stuff. So this energy is there. Again, it's not a good thing or a bad thing, but we know it, that the energy, the weather forecast is going to be like that. So make sure, especially if you are someone who's already a bit Piscean Neptunian, right? Who's already a bit like that, like, I'm not always good with boundaries, or I say yes, but I mean no, and I can't say yes to them because, oh yeah, have compassion with them, and so on. If you're already a person like that, do protect yourself. How can you protect yourself? Well, you can by not putting yourself out there in environments that are not good for you, where you already know that, and instinctively, intuitively, not instinctively, but intuitively, like a Piscean, someone who's got a lot of Piscean or Neptunian energy, like with Neptune on the ascendant or Neptune close to their sun. These people know intuitively that, oh, if I'm going into this environment with this group of friends and they all drink and they all, or not drinking, but they all are talking about themselves, and they're going to take advantage of me by asking me things that later on I'm going to regret. Like, oh, can you do this? Can you, for instance, oh yes, I'm not at home and I'm on travel, but hey, my dog, can you have my dog for a week? And the Piscean will of course say yes, but then the dog does things in the garden, and your whole garden is wasted, and you already know that because last time you said never, ever, ever again, and you're doing it again, that kind of thing. So make sure that you've got a plan, so to speak, a Virgo plan, to tell your truth and to say, last time was a bit hard there, or you just make sure that you're not going to fall for that, those weaknesses, vulnerabilities that we all have towards certain people. And to certain people, we can say no very easily. To others, it's a bit more, So protect yourself for these things, because you can. Also surround yourself with positive people, with people who've got your best interest. Don't go towards toxic areas now with this Piscean kind of energy. And also Mercury is very close to Neptune. So Mercury is the communication, and Neptune is also a bit, not really clear. So it's a very blurry kind of energy. Some people like this. Some people say, oh yeah, you know what? It's a good time to have a drink and to keep on drinking and to forget all our worries. Again, I'm not saying that that is a bad thing, but again, make sure that you're not going to get in a car afterwards and drive home. You know, that kind of thing. Make sure that you kind of take care of yourself. That's basically what I want to say here. But a lot of people are going to get very emotional. A lot of people are going to get over the top with ideas, and maybe they are in a good mood or whatever it is in that particular moment, and they over reach out, or they over um, take on responsibilities that are far too big, and I know it, but they're in a good mood because you feel, when you feel super connected, it's a lovely feeling. It's a lovely feeling. But there is a bit of an edge here with this square to Jupiter, with this North Node with Neptune, with this Mercury with Neptune. And don't forget, it's always interesting as an astrologer to look what's happening after the new moon. After the new moon, Venus goes retrograde. So this says enough that we can overreach ourselves, or we can overdo it and express, oh, you're the best of the best and I love you, da, 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 da. And then the day after, Venus goes retrograde. So the best thing we can do is to be grounded, right? To make sure that we have enough sleep, to make sure that we stay on planet Earth, to make sure, yes, we can be happy, but also to stay on planet Earth. I can't stress that enough. So I don't want to make this, and I hope that if you say, but hey, I'm a Pisces, you're so negative. No, 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 no. It's nothing like that. Pisces, like every sign, has a beautiful way, and it has a not so beautiful way of expressing itself. Let's use it for the beautiful way. Let's use it for showing compassion. Let's use it, but for the right people. Discern, 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 discern. And the intention is everything. So yes, if you say like, oh, on a Friday, it's the 27th to 28th, so that's going to be Thursday, Friday. Oh, I'm going to have a drink, and then I'm going to, with friends, and I'm going to have I'm at the seaside, I'm going to have a swim at night, and I'm going to just let my hair down. Great, great. But again, make sure that you're not alone doing this, for instance. You're just be very practical at the same time, and you will get the enjoyment. You will get the best. And the intention, look at your intention, because with the Piscean, don't forget that the good way of Pisces is rest, is reloading your battery. It's healing. It's healing energy for sure. It's understanding on a feeling level. Let's go for that with that intention. If you go towards the negative side of Pisces, which is, I really, all these problems that I'm having, I have to escape. I'm not quite sure if that is the best intention. And even if you want to, make sure that you're protected. I feel like a mom. Yeah, I feel like a grandma almost. Make sure you're protected. But anyway, in a good way, you can escape in a healthy way, right? You can just Netflix, for instance, the whole night and the whole evening and the whole night, and it's not going to do any harm to anyone else. Maybe just having a headache of watching all those series, but something like that. So I don't think that we will feel very clear around these 2 days, 3 days, with a lot of. So I would not recommend to a very important meeting, a very important things that you're gonna say to others, because you have that Mercury Neptune there. People are going to tend to misinterpret, or project things and all of that. So actually choosing for some downtime, for some time that is cozy and that is natural and a natural flow, and it's the best time for that. It's the best time to meditate, to let go and let God, to trust, to work on those things. Do some dancing. It's a good time for that as well. Do some dancing, do some yoga. if you can. So it's definitely also a good energy for releasing, for releasing a lot of emotions, and but again, in a way that you feel safe, that people are not going to take advantage because you're very sad. Maybe someone has an eye on you, and you've always been able to say no because you are in a relationship, and now you're very sad, and you're crying and you're crying, and then they take advantage of you. Again, this is a stupid example, but I'm just kidding. But it's just an extreme example to make you understand what I'm trying to say here. So with the Venus retrograde after that, we are going to reassess anyways. We are going to reassess our values, our relationships. So it's going to be inevitable. And so, yeah, but I want to have a look at where this is happening for you so that you know this area of your life is a good area to let go. And it's a good area to finish up and to start anew. I'm going to do this very quickly because the introduction is way more important. For Aries people, such a good time to relax. I hope you can, right? That you don't have too much on your agenda, but this is all happening in your 12th house. This is very good to release old patterns. And it squares up to Jupiter in the third, so the mind, so really to have a weekend off, or to go to a faraway place where you in a beautiful hotel and with your loved one, and just think of nothing but enjoy yourselves. And definitely a good time to have a reset, when all this within a couple of days, so much is going to happen in your sign, dear Aries. So it's now like a good time to let go, a good time to start afresh, to meditate, to yoga, take a nice bath, and just release everything. Now, for Taurians, this is the 11th house. Go and have some fun with friends. Oh, this is going to be this can be very supportive for you. Go out with some friends, and go and have a nice time, but with friends who've got your best interest, who are always cheering you up. Don't go towards the toxic friends who always talk about themselves and never ask, how are you doing? Because this can be very negative if that is the case. It's squared up to your second house, so your self-worth as well. So make sure that you surround yourself with good people. That's very important. It can also mean a letting go of a goal that is no longer suiting you. Let it go. It's no longer good for you. Maybe a goal that is taking too much money for you, and it's not appropriate. It's not valuable for you anymore. Gemini, this is work, in the work area. There could be an emphasis on work, and a lot of work, and a lot of momentum there as well, but at the same time, like an ending of some sorts. And so that you can have a new beginning for a new way of work, for a new attitude around work. And it squares up to you, so it has to do with you. And so if it's not career, it is your personality. There is a part of you that you want to let go of. There's a part of you that you don't want to express anymore because there's already a new part that you want to show. Cancerians, this is your 9th house. This is such a good time for you, if you can, to go abroad. And it squares up to Jupiter in the 12th house as well. So don't overdo it with the things that you cannot do or cannot do. The 12th house is a secret house. So make sure that you don't over expand in that area. Of course, this is not judging. It's just because this energy is a bit of exaggerating. But in a good way, this is good for as I said, traveling, reading a book that is giving you a new insight, connecting with someone from abroad who's got a totally different view, and that you understand the bigger picture. So that can be a feeling of unity for you, and that is a beautiful thing because you are a water sign as well. Leo in the 8th house. So all of this energy is happening in the 8th house. Now, in a good way, this is healing. This is the occult. An interest in that could arise again. This is the house of endings and new beginnings, and it's in the sign of endings and new beginnings. So the square to Jupiter, so we could also relate to friendships and to goals. But whatever it is, it's about the more you kind of understand that things are shifting and ending, the easier it's going to be to welcome the new. And so this is a house of death and rebirths. And but use it to kind of release a lot of toxicity, release energy that has to do with deep psychological fears that are imaginative, to release that there's a lot of healing energy here. So use it for that, rather to go towards the toxicity, which is like, it's the not trusting anything and your fear, and it's all in the head, right? Virgos, this is relationship. So there's something triggering here that has to do with a relationship, or in general, your attitude. If you say, Veerle, I'm single, can be an attitude around relationships. And it's squaring Jupiter in the 10th house, so also work. So it has to do with both of them, that there is a new way of relating, and there is also, you want to expand on the work level, but you have to make sure that you don't overdo it because of also certain connections and relationships. Business partners as well. Don't overdo, it could mean that they are going to promise you the world. I would say be grounded, and you will, because you are Virgo. But it is, you're doing, the way that you do relationships, it's a new way that is emerging here. And of course, if you are doing a new way of relationships, things can come out now. With this new moon in Pisces, absolutely, things may come out. And it's with the Mercury Neptune, the things that you weren't clear of, they're gonna become clear. So that's something that Virgos do like. Of course, it's gonna be for better or for worse. Because such an emphasis on that other person, it could mean that another person's going to be very emotional, your spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, or someone in your midst. It can also mean that certainly if you've been having a very bad relationship, that was already very toxic, that now is the ending. Could mean that for sure. Again, that's for a very small Virgo percentage, but you will know if that is your energy or not, if that is your situation or not. There's definitely an energy of, come on, this is karmically, it's done, because there's someone new with the North Node. There's someone new there, better waiting for you. And that is in itself a beautiful thing. So don't resist that for sure. The less you want to kind of control the other person, the better. If you feel like someone is slipping away from you, let them. Let them. That's the advice I want to give here. Let them. Because someone will come around that is way better for you if you have passed that test of let them. On another level, it can mean that you're going through a different phase in your existing relationship. Could mean that as well. There's a new phase here, and that has to do with more a different way of how you present yourself. Because don't forget, next month you're going to have an eclipse in your sign. So this is a lot about shedding off old skin for sure. Librans, the 6th house. So there is something that needs to go, or that will go. Hey, kom maar benzen, maakt niet uit. Wat moet hebben? Wat? Een geodriehoek, maar die ligt niet hier, hè? Nee, die ligt boven, je weet wel, op je tafel heb je zo een potteken met van alles in van Ikea. Daar gaat een geodriehoek in. Hè. Nee, maar kijk een keer dieper. Een kleinere gaat daar ook in liggen. Oké. Good luck. Sorry, that was my son. he never knows where he puts his stuff, right? He's so Neptunian. He's so Neptunian. And being a Virgo, it's there over there. I don't know why I know this, but anyway. So it's lovely, isn't it? That anyway, you're talking about Neptune and Piscean, and there comes in a Neptunian vibe here of my son not knowing where his stuff is. Anyway, but it's a very, very creative time for you as well, Librans, because, and especially in your work, and he's a Libran, my son, by the way, he's a Libran. Isn't that beautiful? He's a Libran. He's the sun in Libra in a trine to Neptune. Very, very, very gentle energy. Anyway, but it's a sign for you as well that the sixth house has to do with your day-to-day habits, your lifestyle, um, your work, your routines, and it will not be easy with all this Piscean energy here and with this new moon of letting go and all of that. It will not be easy to try to force things, right? But it's a very good energy to let go of an old habit that is not good for you. Like if you say, oh, I smoke too much, this is a time to let go of bad habits. Absolutely. That are good for your health. And it's squaring up to Jupiter in the ninth. So it's a bit of a different mindset. But definitely that's the focus for you. So get rid of a bad habit. Period. Is het gelukt? Mattia? Is het gelukt? Oei. Nee, ja, ik weet het ook niet wat aan die liggen. Wat hij daarmee doet. In dat kastje misschien, maar ik denk het niet. Ja, jongen. Ja. Ja. Oké. Yeah. Sorry for that, dear Librans, but I hope you don't mind. Anyway, I will probably find those tools that he needs tomorrow when it's too late. But anyway, he's 22. He will get. He can help himself out. Anyway, so dear Librans, mind you that you have a huge opportunity to heal as well. Huge opportunity to heal. I love it. Scorpios, this is in your fifth house. So this is the house of releasing, how would I say, and let your hair down and have some fun in a very nice way, because it's also a water sign and it's trining your energy. So this could be a new beginning of having fun, a new beginning of having fun in a new way. It could also mean an ending of an old hobby, an ending of an old way of enjoying yourself, an ending of a love relationship, but one that wasn't really your cup of tea anyways. I mean, it's a trine, so it's not that you are, you will experience this better. The chances are bigger that you're going to experience this in a rather positive way. Now, in a very positive way, is this a new romance? Probably, yeah. It could be very, this is too good to be true, but, sit it out a little bit and don't be too over enthusiastic, but enjoy for sure. Can also mean a child. A child is a little bit, all over the place or a little bit emotional, and that you're taking care of that as well. And the square to the eighth house is a lot of healing as well, possibly a lot of intimacy that that you want to experience as well. And it can help you because Scorpios are known for not so trusting, because Scorpio is a sign of trauma. It's a sign of, an energy, specifically if it's your moon in Scorpio, for instance, an energy that had to do in former lives with a lot of trauma. and a lot of betrayal. So, and now with these more gently Piscean, it can open up your heart a little bit more to start trusting again and experiencing love. Beautiful. Sagittarians, the fourth house, have a good time at home. Spend some time at home with beautiful candles, taking a nice bath, spending it with people that you love. And it squares up to Jupiter in the seventh. So there could be like a lot of love there, for sure. Keep the feet on the ground, though, because you can put people on a pedestal now. It's easier for you with Jupiter, your ruler, in that seventh house. So make sure that you're not putting people on a pedestal and you can't go wrong. It can also mean, of course, with all this energy in your fourth house, that you're going to sell a house and that you're going to buy a new one. That could be the case, with the North Node there. It can also mean that, you know, it's a good time for you to say goodbye to old parts of you, because it's the core of your horoscope, your ancestry, your where you're coming from, literally. And you could have peace with that. There's a dissolvement there. There's a healing of parts, healing your own deep emotional wounds, or experiencing them. Being very emotional could mean that you're a bit more emotional now. But if you do that with a person that you feel safe with, there's no harm in it at all. So that you get like an emotional reset. Isn't that interesting? Because then you're way more grounded. Capricorns, this is your third house. You could have very busy time, with lots of people that you see, with emails and phone calls and busyness for sure with this third house, and short trips, and this could be amazing, by the way, this short trip, and this energy sextiles your energy. It is a square to Jupiter, so make sure that you don't overextend, that you're not working too hard and too much, because that is what this is all about. Too much of communication, too much of workload that you're gonna have. So relax and make sure that you have that practicalities as well. Aquarians, this is all happening in your second house. What are you releasing that is no longer matching you? It's such a good time for you to declutter. I already said it. It's squaring up to Jupiter, your fifth house. So make it exciting. Make it a happy thing to declutter. Put on some good music, and meanwhile you're decluttering. Another way of expressing this in a good way is that your finances, that you are kind of restructuring them, that you kind of do a new way, a letting go of an old way, how you do your business or how you do your finances, and doing that in a better way. So leaving the old, getting into the new. It's also a good way of there's something about your confidence that dissolves and that you need to let go of, so that you can have a more healthy one. And literally, it's also what you put in your mouth. You could say, look, no alcohol for me anymore, or no sugars for me anymore. It's a good time to do that. But again, don't over exaggerate, right? Make sure that you can keep this going. So maybe you say in the weekend, I'm gonna skip it. But all in all, a very good time for you to start afresh when it comes to your confidence. And last but not least, Pisceans, this is for you. The whole intro is for you. So this is a lot because your ruler is in the fourth house. This is a lot about you shifting, and your skin. It's figuratively, it's getting another skin. It's old baggage, old ways of doing, old habits, old expressions of you. It's a good time. No, that's no longer me. It's some roles that you are playing. We all play certain roles. We are a mom. We are a husband, a wife. The expression of the identity of your profession, and so on. There's a part of it that is going away. Can be very simple, like you're no longer, maybe you're pregnant and you're no longer going to be just taking care of yourself. You're now going to take care of a little one. It's like a shift in identity. And so the fourth house it could make you extra emotional for sure. So again, make sure that you're surrounded by the best people, by people who support you. And the fourth house is also your home. So you could be doing things there that you want to shift and that you want to change. And but all in all, it can feel that you don't know the direction now. You're a bit in the middle of nowhere, but it's about, can be actually healing, that parts of you no longer you, and you're ready for a new one. Remember the North Node in your sign. You're ready for kind of new exploration of pieces of your identity and new building blocks for that. So the more you shed off the skin that is no longer suiting you, the better you're going to recreate and the space that you're going to have. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, having said that, thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time.